Getting the puncture in your mat is really annoying and is a surefire way to turn what should have been an enjoyable trip into a really uncomfortable one. There's nothing worse than going to sleep on your nice comfy mat and waking up on the ground. Luckily, these punctures can be easily fixed and you can do so from the comfort of your own home. If you think your mat has got a leak in it, the first thing you want to do is check the valves. And most of the EXPED mats, you'll have an inflate and a deflate valve. With the inflate valve, you want to open it up and check that the one-way valve is seated correctly. If it's not, just poke it back into place. With the deflate valve, sometimes what can happen if your mat has insulation in it, some of the insulation can be poking out of the valve, and this will also cause your mat to deflate overnight. So you just want to, again, poke that back in. Now that we've checked the valves and made sure that they're alright, the next thing you want to do is just confirm that you do actually have a leak. So the easiest way to do this is to get some heavy weights, like phone books, place them on top of your mat, and leave it for a few hours. If you come back in a few hours and find that your mat has well and truly deflated, then it's time to find the puncture. Now that you know your mat does have a puncture, the next thing to do is locate it, which unfortunately is the most tedious part of the whole process. What you're going to need is some soapy water, either in a spray bottle like this or just some detergent in a bucket. And you want to liberally apply this to your mat. We're going to start with the base because that's where the puncture is most likely to occur. Don't be scared. You want to coat your entire mat with the soapy water. It'll dry out and we'll be able to clean it later. So spray the soapy water all over the mat until it's completely covered. Once you've sprayed the base of the mat, you also want to focus on the valves and the seams, so make sure you apply the soapy water here too, because splits are more likely to occur in these areas. Once you've applied the soapy water to the mat, you want to apply some pressure, and where you start to see bubbles forming is where your puncture is. So you want to mark this in some way, whether it be a bit of tape or just circling the spot, and then we'll let our mat dry and come back and fix the hole tomorrow. Yesterday we found the little pinprick puncture in our mat and we've put a mark around it so we know where we want to repair. We've let the mat dry out and we've got it deflated. Your mat should come with a little repair kit like this. It'll have some glue and the patches that you need. It'll have instructions as well, so make sure you read those before you start. In general, for a small pinprick puncture, you'll just need the adhesive. For any larger rips or tears, you'll need to cut a fabric patch. We're going to show you today how to put on a fabric patch, even though in general holes this size would only need the glue. So to put on a fabric patch, you want to cut out a piece that generously overlaps your hole or tear, so about 1 centimeter on all sides. We're going to apply the glue to the shiny side of this patch. Again, be generous with this. And then we're just going to press it firmly over the puncture. And you want to hold it in place until the edges don't curl up. And then give it a couple hours to dry, and you should be good to go. Just to quickly add in here, it's also a good idea to seam seal around the edge of the patch as well, because otherwise it tends to lift up over time. So there you have it. Our mat is all nicely patched up and ready for the next adventure. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any other questions for us, please feel free to get in touch at mountainequipment.com.